Hello, this is Kenny Ken in his opposition view. What a lovely day today in North London today. Absolutely beautiful day. And a massive week for Tottenham Hotspur. Massive game against Wolves. Wolves already relegated. They, in their most recent matches, amongst their most recent matches, they got absolutely turned over by West Ham 2 weeks ago. And for me, I think they checked out. Don't get me wrong, their relegation was confirmed probably from the first game of the season. And since then, their form's been atrocious. Although they had a bit of a renaissance, in the middle of months of January, February and March. But since then, they've gone back to their bad old ways. And confidence is at its lowest at Wolves. So it's a good opportunity for Spurs, to get those points. And I think Spurs will get those points. I saw a bit for a game against Brighton to be encouraged. I thought the game against Brighton was... Spurs started well, started with a good attitude. I thought the team selections by De Zerbi was a team selection I agreed with. Nothing against Jed Spence, but I do think that Udogie is better in that position than Jed Spence. He gives you direct, left footer in that left back position. And I think he gives you more on the ball. Jed Spence gives you pace, and he's a good man marker, but on the ball he doesn't give you much. I thought Porro did okay, scored a really good goal. I thought Xavi Simons, that was his best game in a Spurs shirt. He scored a cracker for the second, but once again, when you're in this kind of situation that Spurs are in, when you make the mistakes, Danso's made a mistake. He's allowed Van Hegger to put the cross in and Brighton get an equaliser, second equaliser. So it's one of those things where you just can't afford to drop points at home. You just can't afford to do it because home should be a fortress. Your next two home games, home games, amongst your home games are going to be Everton, last game of the season. Also, it's going to be a home game against Leeds. That's the 6-pointer. But Leeds, they're doing well. They're in the FA Cup semi-final. They've got a point against Bournemouth. West Ham got a draw against Crystal Palace. So it's one of the things where it's actually between West Ham and Tottenham. So what you've got to do is put some pressure on West Ham, beat Wolves, and then West Ham have got Everton at the Olympic Stadium. Everton are a hard team to beat, so it's all guns blazing, for Spurs. It's now and ever. You need to get your shooting boots on. Solanke needs to get, to chip in with the goals. You can't just rely on Xavi Simons. I heard that he should be fit for the game tomorrow, and it's absolutely massive. It's all about wins now. Forget the performances, about wins, turning somebody good play into, some clinical wins. Use the Wolves game as a springboard to staying in the Premier League.